Okay, hi, welcome back. I've gone back to portrait because I can actually figure out where I'm looking, so that's quite nice. Your case study for UK in the 21st century is the UK. So what you have in that case study are little mini case studies of places in the UK. So remembering the case study for UK 21st century, it says what it says on the tin, UK. But for your issues, okay, we looked at housing shortage and water stress. So, Llama, what is the challenge of housing shortage in the UK? Well, I'm not doing it. We need to build 240,000 houses to keep up with our growing population. We only build about half that, like a year, okay? Houses are too expensive for most people to buy and rent, especially in the southeast where we live. These houses are ridiculously priced. Land is strictly controlled. Around cities, you have a green belt, okay? And that land around cities is to stop urban sprawl, to stop the city sprawling into the countryside, spreading into the countryside. But it does limit the amount of building you can do around cities. So you end up having to sort of build on brownfield sites in cities, and you get high density housing and sort of overcrowding of people. There's often local opposition to housing developments. No one wants their area sort of overcrowded or their view disrupted, and the price of land keeps rising. So that's the housing shortage challenge in the UK. Why is it particularly challenging in the southeast? Well, one, that's where a lot of our economic hubs are. So that's the jobs. So that's where people migrate to. That's where people want to live to get employment. And also flatter land in the southeast, nicer climate, tends to be a better place, better quality of life sort of thing, easier to build. Possible solutions to our housing shortage, apart from the government actually, building the amount of houses that we need, reducing restriction on the Greenbelt. But that's not particularly sustainable, is it? So, re-urbanisation. We already studied this when we looked at Stratford, the actual regeneration of the area to encourage people to move back in. So regeneration, the improvement of the area, re-urbanisation, encouraging people to move back in. Building on that brownfield, that land that's already been built on but is now derelict or run down or not used well. Build upwards. High density population, housing you build upwards, very popular in cities like Tokyo. The government has set a target of building 1 million new homes in England by the end of Parliament in 2020. We'll see. And affordable mortgages, making sure people can afford to live there. The other issue that the UK faces is water stress. Now, it's a sort of water, we're not quite in a desperate, dire water shortage situation. However, the challenge is most of the water falls in the west and the north of the UK, and most of people and industry is in the south and the east. Oh, and agriculture. Don't forget, agriculture uses a ton of water for irrigation. I'm going to keep saying the word irrigation. That mismatch creates this water stress, where pressure on water supply caused by demand exceeding the supply. Areas with serious stress around London and the south coast, we're actually quite dry. It doesn't feel like it, I know. And that could lead to future water shortages and droughts. We're not in a drought situation. We're not even really in a water shortage situation. We're just in a water stress situation. Possible solutions. This is where your water transfer comes in from your resource reliance unit. Water transfer from the west to the east via canals or pipelines. Construction of new reservoirs, so water storage, reservoir building to capture and store water in the east. So expensive, takes up land. Encouraging water conservation, so ensuring that companies like Thames Water fix leaking pipes. We lose so much water through leaking pipes, and making sure that people use water more wisely and conserve it, okay? That's 4 minutes and 28 seconds. See ya.